Friends, myself is Dr. Bhavin Patel. I am lecturer in chemistry at Natubhai Patel College of Pure and Applied Sciences, Vallabh Vidyanagar. I am here today to present a topic, chemical kinetics. Now, as a student of chemistry, we are interested in chemical reactions, and looking to a particular chemical reaction, we may have certain questions that arise in our minds. The first question is whether this reaction will occur or not. The second is, if it occurs, then will it be spontaneous one or not? And if it is spontaneous, then up to what extent this particular reaction will occur. About extent of reaction as well as the speed of reaction, we should get answer of these questions. Now, the answer of first two questions, that is the occurrence of reaction and about the spontaneity of reaction. The chemical thermodynamics can give the answer of these two questions. But regarding the speed of any chemical reaction, chemical thermodynamics is unable to give the answer of it. The chemical kinetics, the concept of chemical kinetics is helpful to us to have the answer of this question, that is regarding the speed of reaction. And therefore, we are today going to describe the general concepts of chemical kinetics. Now, what is chemical kinetics? Chemical kinetics, one can say that it is a branch of chemistry which deals with the speed of reaction, the various factors that affect this reaction, and the reaction mechanism. Now, to understand the chemical kinetics more precisely, we should first understand the general terms that are generally used in chemical kinetics. The first and most important term that is used in chemical kinetics is rate of reaction. Now, what is rate of reaction? See, we know that when any chemical reaction occurs, initially the concentration of reactants are 100% and that of the products are 0%. When reaction proceeds, there is transformation of reactants to products. It means that the concentration of reactants are going to decrease, and at the same time the concentration of product are going to increase. But this change in the concentration of either reactants or products are not uniform, because in early stage of reaction the concentration of reactants are 100%, that is the maximum, and therefore the rate at which there is change in the concentration of the reactants are more. After certain time, there is decrease in the rate of change of concentration of reactant. So, if we describe these things by a certain graph, this graph indicates that there is 0% concentration of reactant, 100% concentration of reactants in early stage. When reaction proceeds, there is decrease in the concentration of reactants. At the same time, there is increase in the concentration of product. And after certain time, there is no appreciable change in the concentration of either reactants or products. So one can describe the rate of reaction as it is the change in the concentration of either reactants or products per unit time. Now, as we know that chemical kinetics is experimental science, we are dealing with order of reaction, rate of reaction, the rate constant of reaction, and reaction mechanism by which that particular reaction proceeds in chemical kinetics. Now, experiments suggest that the rate of any chemical reaction, that is R, is directly proportional to the concentration of reactants that are involved in the reaction raised to some power. That means if we consider the reaction in which two reactants A and B are involved to give certain products, then one can say that the rate of this particular reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of both the reactants having some power, and therefore we can say R is proportional to A raised to N, B raised to M. Now if we remove this proportionality, we can say that R is equal to some constant into the concentration of reactant raised to some power. This constant is called specific rate constant if the concentration of all the reactants are unity. Here R is rate of reaction, K is rate constant, N is order of reaction with respect to A, M is order of reaction with respect to B. Order of reaction, that is N and M, as well as rate of reaction can be determined experimentally, and once we have rate of reaction as well as order of reaction, we can determine the rate constant of that particular reaction. Now this equation gives the dependence of how rate of reaction depends on concentration of reactant. So one can say that this is nothing but it is the differential rate law of reaction. Differential rate law is nothing but it is the mathematical equation that describes the how rate of reaction depends on concentration of reactants. So we can say that the differential rate law is mathematical equation which shows that how concentration of reactants depends on rate of reaction. So if we consider a reaction in which A plus B to give certain products C plus D, then rate of this reaction can be written in terms of either concentration of reactants or in terms of the concentration of product. So R is change in concentration of reactant A, that is D into A per unit time, that is dt. Here square bracket indicates that we are expressing the concentration of reactants in molarity. Square bracket indicates concentration in molarity. Moreover, if reactant concentration are decreasing, and therefore we have to mention that by putting negative sign. It means R is equal to minus dA by dt in terms of reactant A. If one want to express the rate of reaction in terms of other reactant, that is B, one can write it is dB by dt. Again sign will be negative because it is reactant. One can express rate of reaction in terms of either C or D as it is dC by dt or it is dD by dt. Now here C and D are products, and we know that its concentration are going to increase, and therefore we have to put plus sign. Each and every terms here indicates rate of this particular reaction. Moreover, here the stoichiometry suggests that 1 mole of A react with 1 mole of B to produce 1 mole of C along with 1 mole of D. And it means the stoichiometry permits us to write equality sign for each terms. But if the reaction is like this, in which 2a plus 3b to give 4c plus 5b. If reaction is kind of this, and if we want to write rate of reaction in terms of A, then again it is the change in concentration of A per unit time, that is minus dA by dt, or in terms of B it is minus dB by dt, or in terms of C it is dC by dt, or in terms of D it is dd by dt. But here stoichiometry says that 2 mole of A react with 3 mole of B to produce 4 mole of C along with 5 mole of D, and therefore we cannot write equality sign. And if we want to write equality sign, then we have to divide each term by its appropriate stoichiometric coefficient. Here 2 is stoichiometric coefficient for A, 3 for B, 4 for C and 5 for D, and therefore we have to write this particular term by 2, that is minus 1 by 2. Here 3, therefore 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. Then we can write the sign of equality. So here each term indicates rate of reaction. So one can define rate of reaction in another way as it is the time derivative of the concentration of either reactants or products divided by appropriate stoichiometric coefficient. So the another definition for rate of reaction is the time derivative of concentration of either reactants or products divided by appropriate stoichiometric coefficient. Now we earlier said that the chemical kinetics is experimental science. Our interest in chemical kinetics is to determine the rate of reaction as well as rate constant of reaction along with the order of reaction. We also said that the differential rate law gives the dependence of rate of reaction on the concentration of reactant having certain power. But when we are performing the actual experiment, then we are measuring the change in concentration of either reactant or product in different time interval, and therefore instead of relation between rate of reaction and concentration of reactant, a relation that correlate time as well as concentration of reactant is more important to us, and that relation is called the integrated rate law. So integrated rate law is nothing but it is the integrated form of differential rate law. We have to integrate the differential rate law between appropriate limit of time and concentration. So instead of differential rate law, integrated rate law is more important for us because it gives the relation between concentration of reactants and time of reaction. Now the question is how one can derive the integrated rate law for first order reaction as well as for second order reaction. We will limit ourselves to have the order of reaction ranging from 1 to 2. That means we will describe today the first order integrated rate law as well as second order integrated rate law. Now, the general procedure to derive the integrated rate law for any kind of reaction is that we must have the differential rate law for that reaction. After having differential rate law, we have to rearrange that differential rate law in a way that the concentration terms remains on one side and time term remains on other side. Then in next step we can integrate this rearrangement into appropriate limit of time and concentration so that we can have the integrated rate law for that particular reaction. Let us see what is the general form of integrated rate law for first order reaction. We can consider a reaction, the general reaction in which A reacts to give products, which is first order, because we know that it is first order reaction. That means N is equal to 1. Now the differential rate law for this reaction is minus dA by dt is equal to K into concentration of reactant raised to some power. This is the general form of differential rate law. Here reaction is first order. It means N